come midway between those places so that you can sit in a way that you feel like your spine is lifting. And then let your hands rest on your legs, so that your eyes close. Bring your back teeth apart. And let the back of your tongue rest on the floor of your mouth, the tip of your tongue behind your front teeth. And take a deep breath in. And then let it out. And another deep breath in. And let it out. And then just notice the natural rhythm of your breath. As you breathe normally in and out through your nose. Let your full awareness come into your breath. We come into our practice today and remind you of the very first Yoga Sutra. It's just about humility. It says, with humility, an open heart and an open mind, we begin the practice of yoga. Each time we step on the mat, it's as if we step newly into this openness of heart, openness of mind. And just be open to whatever the body is informing you about in your practice. And just letting that be your guide. Put your eyes open with a soft gaze. Reverse the cross of your legs. And bring your hands to the front of your knees. Again, rock forward on your sitting bones a lot. Feel your low back arch. Take an in breath when you do that, so you can feel your heart lift and your low back arch. And then as you exhale, round backward on the spine. Feel your back round, the spine between your shoulder blades move away from you. And then as you inhale, rock forward again. Feel that upward lift. I want you to notice as you go back and forth in this way, the movement of your pelvis, the whole pelvis, the hip bones, tailbone, and the articulation of your thigh bones in the hip bone. And take one more in breath here. And then exhale, take your hands back to your side. Press the fingertips, lift your spine up. Inhale, take your right arm straight up. And then as you exhale, take your left hand to the side of your palm and just reach over and bring your awareness to the top of that right hip bone. From there, as you inhale, reach a little longer through your fingers. Good, and then exhale, bring that side down. Inhale, take the left arm up. And as you exhale, bring the right palm flat, reach over to the side. Notice the space in the top of that left hip bone. Good, inhale, and then come on to all fours. Just have your blocks at the top of your mat and your blanket off your mat. You come on to all fours. Take your wrists right under your shoulders with your fingers as wide, pinky fingers as wide as your mat. Bring your back flat like a table. And take a couple of cat cows on your breath. Start with your tailbone as you inhale. Lift the tailbone up, come one vertebra at a time until the chest and head lift. And then as you exhale, scoop the tailbone around the spine, one vertebra at a time. As you move back and forth mindfully on your breath. And then notice the tilt of the pelvis forward as the tailbone lifts. And the tilt of the pelvis backward as the tailbone drops between the knees. And tune into that articulation of the pelvis and how it moves is kind of gliding over your thigh bones. And just notice that a couple more in breaths and out breaths. And then come back into a table. Take your knees wide apart, your big toes to touch. Start to shift your hips back, but walk your hands partway forward. We're gonna just go part way. From here, press your hands down, take your hips back, but keep them high, and just see how long you can get your spine before you sit back. And then take your hips back towards your heels and notice the pelvis tipping forward here. Well, then inhale again, come back up to hands and knees. So hands now are ahead of your shoulders. And again, start to reach the hips back. Notice the front of the pelvis tips forward as you do. And just notice that movement as you reach the hips all the way back. And tune into that forward tip of the pelvis as you come into child pose. And then when you inhale and come up, it comes back into a neutral position. And try that one more time. Come back into child pose. Keep the armpits and elbows lifted. The reach from the heel of your hand to the top of your hip bones long. Take a long in breath in. As you exhale the breath here, reach the hips a little further back, keeping that long line along the spine. And then inhale, come on up to all fours, tuck your toes, lift your hips, and into downward facing dog. Take your toes in, your heels out, and then bend your right knee a lot and reach the left heel back. And then the left knee a lot, reach the right heel. Then we'll reach both heels back, spin the heels out, find length here in your spine. Long in breath. Reach back through the top of your thigh bones on the out breath. Then inhale your gaze forward. Now exhale, walk your feet to your hands. Take your feet as wide as your hips. Spin the heels out, pull the elbows and let your body hang down. Take a look at your feet. So line the little toes on your foot up parallel with the edge of your mat, and then stretch your toes, lift your ankles, and hug your thigh muscles snug. Shift your weight a little forward towards your toes and a little back. And then land with your hips right over your ankles. As you exhale your breath, just let your torso get down. And take your hands to your hips, take the elbows back. You should inhale from all the way up. Reach the fingers up, clasp fingers, take the index fingers straight up. Take the arm bones back. With the heels down, inhale and long breath up to the full length of your spine. Good, and then exhale, release your hands down. Take your index fingers right on the front of your hip bones. Take your feet just hip distance now. And then just make a few circles, and just want you to feel into the rotation of your pelvis now. Rotation of the pelvis. And notice when you take the hips back and the pelvis tips forward. And the legs are separate from the pelvis, go the other direction. Really feel into that, sort of like the Tin Man, move the joints of your pelvis. Really make a big circle here. Yes, you guys got it. And then come back to neutral. So your blocks in front. And then take your hands that are back on the front of the pelvis. So with your index fingers in the front of your hip bones, your thumbs back towards the sacrum, press into your heels. Tip the pelvis forward and pause. Just pause a little ways forward. And then inhale and lengthen the spine. I want you to notice when the rounding of your back starts. Bend your knees. Tip the pelvis a little more. So feel the pelvis kind of falling over the thigh bones. That's the movement of a forward bend. Press the heels down, come back up. Just getting that sense of getting back in. So try it again. Tip forward. And this time, don't bend the knees. Notice when does your back start to round. When it does, the pelvis probably goes behind you. So let yourself come all the way forward, just hang through the elbows. And just feel into your body. Is the pelvis moving backward, or is it still tipping forward? Now bring your hands on the block so you can kind of self-correct here. Come into a flat back forward bend with your shoulders over your wrists. Press into your heels, toes in, heels out. Find a little more length in your spine here. So flat back, pelvis is neutral. As you exhale and start to fold forward, bend your knees as you need to so that you can keep the feel of the pelvis just folding over the thigh bones. So maybe your knees are bent a lot, maybe not at all. Just depends on you want me to feel into your body when your pelvis is tilted. Press the heels down and hug your thigh muscles in a little bit more. Upper inner thighs back and wide. Good. And then take your blocks now to the sides of your feet. And step your right foot back and come into a lunge with your left knee over your ankle. Be light on your fingers and lift the back thigh up. Draw the heart forward. And take the tailbone out a little more towards your back heel. So we're in a neutral pelvis position here. Just feel into that on your breath. You can bring your hands flat on the blocks. And step your right foot back. Lift your low belly up. Again, a neutral pelvis position. Rock forward on the toes. And rock back a little bit on the balls of the feet. Keep your low belly lifted, rock forward. So the low belly lifting brings stability to that neutral pelvis position. Just feel that. One more time back, and then you come down to your knees. Take your knees wide, big toes touch. Take the blocks off to the side. Again, come and start clock back. Tip the pelvis forward as you reach the hips back, reach way back. Walk the hands way forward. Lift the armpits and the elbows, let your forehead rest on. And find your breath here. Inhale through your nose, take your breath deep into the low belly. And as you exhale, feel the hips move to the for the belly. Inhale deep into the low belly. Exhale, hips low for the back. And then inhale, coming up to all fours. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, come back into down facing down. And spin the heels out, toes in. And reach the top of the thighs back. You bend your knees here and see with your knees bent quite a bit. And you tip the pelvis a little more forward. And then when you do that, you can feel a little more length in your spine. And then when you reach the thighs back, so you to take your hips a little higher. Yeah, only reach them back without sacrificing the tip of the pelvis forward. Good. And then inhale your gaze forward. Exhale, take that right foot forward. And take your hands back on the blocks. Be light on the fingers, reach the heel back, the crown of the head forward. Lift the up back thigh, inner thigh up. Take the tailbone towards the back heel. Hold your breath here. Lengthen the back heel through the crown of the head. And then step that back foot forward. Keep your hands, actually make the blocks tall. Keep your hands to the blocks by the sides of your feet. Yeah, the heels a little out, toes a little in. Inhale, a little flat back here. And then as you exhale, again, be aware of the movement of the pelvis, initiating the forward bend. So you're rolling the pelvis over the thighs and you're bending your knees as you need to, so you can keep that pelvis moving. Good, exhale, take your heels to your hips. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up, clasp the fingers, index fingers straight up, press the heels. And then as you exhale, your breath lean over to the right. Take both the left wrist with your right hand now and reach the palm away. So bring your awareness to the top of that left hip bone. And then inhale, come on up. And switch hands for the other way. Root through the heels, bring the awareness to the top of the right hip bone. Good, inhale, come on, flexing, release the hands down. And you're going to switch to the front of your hip bones again, thumbs back. Start to hinge from the hips. Pause partway. Inhale, re-extend the spine. Keep the pelvis rolling forward over your thigh bones and come down, take your hands back on the blocks. Lightly on the fingertips, come into a flat back forward bend in the breath. As you exhale, use your pelvis to initiate a full forward bend, bending your knees as you need to. And keep your blocks tall. You can lower them as you take the left foot back, coming into a lunge with your right knee over your ankle, with the inner thigh up, extend the crown of the head forward, punch it. And bring your hands flat over the blocks again. Step that right foot back, take your two hips apart, shoulders over your wrists. Lift your low belly. And just be aware of, again, the position of your pelvis here to be like neutral position, meaning your low back is not arched, nor are you rounded. Rock forward on the tips of the toes. And rock back on the balls of the feet. And come over forward. And then come over back. One more time, come over forward. And then over back. Good. Got to your knees wide, big toes touch. Set your blocks off to the side. Press the palms of the armpits and the elbows. Again, hinge from the pelvis as you come back. Creep the hands a little more forward. Press the index finger and your thumb pad down. And as you lift the armpits and press the arms down, reach the hips back. Can you feel a long line along the spine? So the pelvis is part of your spine. And the back rim of the pelvis near the sacrum. You feel like it's really stretching you down. And then inhale, come on up to all fours. Tuck your toes, bend, lift your knees just a little off the floor. Pause here, low belly lifts. Keep your knees bent and let your hips lift up. Your pelvis tip towards your hands. Yep. Get as long as you can in the spine first. Index finger and knuckle pads have to press. And then maybe or maybe not, stretch your legs back a little bit more, but only if you can keep that forward tip of the pelvis. Find your breath here. Long in breath. Top of the inner thighs reach back on the upright. Inhale your gaze forward. Exhale, take that left foot forward. And take your hands on the blocks and side of the left foot. And then come back into a lunge here. Heel back. Pelvis neutral here. Crown the head forward. Good. Exhale, take that right foot forward now. Heels out, toes in, hands on your blocks, tall or low. So use what you're learning here to integrate that. So bend the knees, tip the pelvis over the thigh bones. Let your head drop. Press into the outer edge of your heel a little more. Notice when you do that, you can bring the upper inner thighs back a little bit more. You're going to take your hands to your hips and take the elbows back. You should come all the way up. Clasp your fingers, take the index finger straight out, thumbs back. Take your thigh bones back. Good. Exhale. Release your hands once again to your hip bones. And then take your right foot back. Which one's on the other because I get confused about which. No, I said your right foot, so I'm good. Take your right foot back and your left foot forward. So line your back foot up so that your arch is lined up with your front heel and your back heel goes a little bit than your pinky toes. And then take your walk towards your right foot. Yeah. And then take your hands onto your hip bones. Yeah. The next finger is in the front, thumbs in the back. But rotate your hips forward and then go back to open. So again, notice the whole pelvic girdle turning as you do this. Yeah, the heels really connect down. Yeah, and then land with your torso facing the front foot. Press into both heels and inhale, take that left arm up. And notice the space between your hip and the rib cage here. So take the back hip and roll it forward part way and re-extend the arm. That space should still be about as open as it was upright. Come back up. So inhale, lift up. Feel the space between your hip bone and your rib cage. Press into your back heel a lot. And turn the pelvis forward. The whole pelvis down, reach that way. And then just slightly take the heel on the back. Good. Keep the back heel pressing. Invite the whole pelvis to turn forward. That helps take that left thigh bone back. And then turn the chest to the ceiling. And then take the top one. If you have any shoulder restrictions, it doesn't feel good to take the top one, you don't need to. Find your breath here as you in, and I'll feel that lengthening the spine. And keep the pelvis turning towards the front foot. As you exhale, get the back heel. And breathe in and out here. Exhale, take the top edge here. Keep your hip bones again. And now take your left hand on top of the left thigh bone. Keep the back hand pressing and press down. Just kind of let the hand root the thigh bone down. Yep. And then again, find that space between your hip and the rib cage on the side. So the hand pressing down gives you a little counter leverage to find length here. Now turn the pelvis towards that bent knee and reach that left arm forward again. Take the hand lightly on the block by your ankle this time, maybe in the lower position, hands on you. And then press that front thigh bone into your arm and turn the back hip bone more forward. So that should feel like it frees up your low back a little bit. The more that, I'm not sure if that makes sense. Yeah. So the more that back right hip turns forward, the more the left side of the hip feels a little more open. Take the top shoulder back, look a minute. And we'll take this arm long by your ear, palm pressing forward, find your breath. And the back heel through the top of yours, just feel everything like. Good, exhale to conclude your hip on the knee. Inhale, come on up, and your hands to the front of your chest. So see if you can press your fingers together with the sleeve. Root the heels down. And let your body gather your pelvis. Just turn towards the front foot and back towards the center. Just feel that. And then come back into center. Make note of where is in the center, on the axis of the spine, and then extend the arms and arms. And this time, as you drop that left thigh bone, you gaze over the left fingers. Yeah, just feel it just kind of naturally gliding in the direction of the bent knee. Let your torso stay facing the long edge of the mat. Find your breath here. As you inhale, feel the whole spine lift. As you exhale, connect to the heels and feel just the pelvis gliding over the back. Just bring the palms up, reach the fingers away from you here. Exhale, bring the back hand down. Inhale, bring the top hand up. And just feel the difference here in the stretch along the front of your right thigh. And then exhale, release there. Step the back just forward. And stand for a moment in Tadasana, arms by your side. You're just pressing down. Feel your inner thighs going back, your heart lifting up. And just check in with kind of how your low back, hips, pelvis feel. Hopefully different one side to the other. Take your index fingers and your hip bone again. Step your left foot back just to take your block tall on your hand. Index fingers on the front of your hips, thumbs in the back. So spin your back heel a little further. Spin your toes. So back again. There you go. Yeah. And then just take a moment here to find your ground. Press the heels, rotate the pelvis towards the front foot, and then back towards the ceiling. And do that a couple times. And then land facing the front. Take the right arm up. Again, notice the space here as you reach, especially notice the pinky finger lifting up. And you notice the space between your hip and your rib cage here. And then come just pull it right forward. When you re-extend, so the whole pelvis turns towards the front foot, and that gives you space on the right side waist. And then lightly take that hand down. And lightly the right thigh bone crept up. So press into the heels. Turn the pelvis forward and invite the top of that right thigh bone back. And turn the chest up. And we have the top on. You can straight out if your neck is happy with it. You can look down. You can find your breath here. The fullness of the in-breath should feel a little more length in the spine. And the completeness of the exhale should feel a little more connection to your heels. Take the more in-breath. Exhale, take your foot to the top. Come on. And then take your right hand on the top of the right thigh and let it press down. So the thigh bone here returns out a little bit, so your knees still goes the same direction as your toes. It has to turn out to do that. Okay, so press down, lift up, making sure a little wider step, so you need, this is what turns your toes, yeah. And just kind of find that space here. Getting rid of that wider. And reach forward, so let the pelvis reach. Move with you, take the block by the angle. Turn the pelvis a little bit more. Press the leg over the arm and turn the chest up. Inhale, find the length here, as you take the arm alongside of your ear. In the back heel through the top ears. The long knee breath. To exhale, feel the heels connect. See if you turn your pelvis a little bit more, that left hip towards the right toes. And the right sitting over towards the left foot. You find a little more space. Subtle, but it's powerful. And exhale to get into the and back up. Bring your hands to heart center. Press the fingers, take the arm bones back. Find your center here. So keeping that awareness in, extending the arms out. Exhale, drop that right thigh bone again. Thighs turn out, so your knee goes to center your toes. As you exhale, feel that downward burning energy in front of the right thigh bone. But then at the top rim of your pelvis, to the space between the pelvis and the ribs, you draw left. You can gaze over from the knees. There's that subtle tree. The pelvis in this place. So can you lift up off of that right hip bone, create a little more space. So sometimes it feels like you lift, reach the left hand left a little bit more left. There's left, that's it. And your back in. Spin the palms down. Take the back hand down. Reach the front and up. Inhale, feel that space between the hip bone and the ribs on the right side. Good, exhale, lower that hand down. Second back to go forward and back to Tadasana again. And have your blocks again the sides of the here. Okay. So just feel for a moment into the heels pressing. Take your thumbs now in front of your thighs. Rotate your thighs in as you start to go partway forward. So with the thumbs on the thighs, you're pressing the upper inner thighs back. Go just partway, press into the hands into the thighs, and then extend the spine a little longer. And then keep going forward. Keep awareness of the pelvis going over the thighs, so bending your knees as you need to. And then taking your hands on the blocks, crown of the head, straight down, elbows back. And then you connect with the pelvis rotating over the thigh bones, the upper inner thighs going back and wide. So looking at your knees, if they're knocked in, see if you can spin the heels a little wider, maybe the feet even a little wider, and then spin the upper inner thighs back a little bit. Good. Take your heels to your hips. Let's try that one with the block as a teacher. Block as a teacher for your inner thighs. So take a block like that, and one in front of you for your hands. So a lot of our symmetry as women is about something called the Q angle, the distance when we don't have a block between our legs, between the width of our hips and the width of our knees. The Q angle is the angle that we form if we drew a straight line down from the hips to the ankles. And we know that we tend to have narrower knees than hips. So then we adopt postures without the block. So the knees kind of rocking in. So the block is a teacher to help us kind of correct that. We're not going to change the actual distance between our hips and both, but we can educate our thighs to give them more symmetry. So hug the block, spin it behind you. You'll see your knees kind of collapse back when you do that. So instead of letting your knees collapse back, press your heels, hug your thighs, hug the block, spin the block back, and keep a little, we call it a little water in the knees, a little micro bend. Take your index fingers to your hip bones again, let your hips slide forward. And then pause and into the block and spin a little further back. Notice that helps you tip the pelvis forward. And take your hands on the block in front of you. Hug the block again, spin it back. Notice the pelvis tipping forward. And then to come more fully forward, maybe you need to bend the knees to keep the pelvis tipping forward, but your head drop down. Good, now take a look at your knees. Likely they're a little bit less kind of left in. And you can adjust the distance of your feet a little narrower or a little wider so that you can see, does my knee in my first or second toe line up? Pointing the same way. Plug into the block, spin it back. Good, inhale, come back into a flat back. Exhale, take your hands to use. Yeah. Take your blocks by the sides of your feet. Plug back by your heels. Take your index fingers and your hip bones again. Keep your right foot forward. This time, step your left foot backwards and your heel back and gaze forward. So your left foot is more left, right foot, and your heel is up. Your foot's almost in the same position as the front foot. It's just turned out back and maybe 10 degrees. So take the back foot this one. Yeah. So that when you have your index fingers and your hip bone, when you turn the hips forward, you can feel both of them equally coming forward. Pressing your heels, take your elbows back. Find that space between your hip and your rib cage. And again, come partway forward from your hip bone, just partway. Re-extend the spine, feel the pelvis tipping forward. You feel like it's rolling over that front thigh bone. Take your hands on the block slightly. Inhale, find the length here. Notice your right thigh bone, just invite it back. Notice your left hip bone, turn the pelvis forward towards the front foot. Good. And then just let your body, let you know as you fold forward, what feels like a good stopping point for me without distorting all of that good work you've done with the low back of the pelvis. So allowing yourself to come forward as long as the pelvis is tipping forward. And then when you drop the head down, for sure your spine between the shoulder blades will round, and that's okay. But see if you can keep that awareness of the pelvis tipping over the thighs as you come into this lowest class 14 lesson. Find your breath. Notice what happens as you hold and you breathe. Breathing through your nose deep into your low belly and inhale. As you exhale, connecting with the heels, keeping awareness of the pelvis turning towards your front foot. Then inhale, come back up to a flat back in this position. Extend the chest forward, reach the front of your right thigh bone back. And then bring your hands to your hips and come up in the pelvis. That's flat. Step it up and forward. Inhale, spur the breath into Asana. And then bring your hands to your hips again, take your right foot down. Angle the back heel a little further back, a lot further back. Actually, you can really put us out of the foot so the toes point towards the front right corner of your mat. And then turn the pelvis in the whole pelvis. Lift your toes. Notice when you lift your toes on both feet, just to educate your feet. So the back foot, you want to press the little toe side of the front really more. And you see if you can keep your arches lifted and let your toes relax. Good. Turn the pelvis more forward. And then from the pelvis, start to come partway forward. With the left thigh, I want to creep forward. So turn the pelvis, right hip forward, left thigh on back. Re-extend the spine, then lightly take your knees into the blocks. Then find your breath again. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Keep the pelvis rotating towards that front foot. And let your body, you know, how far forward can you go. Leading from the tip of the pelvis over the thigh bones, rather than rounding the low back. So each side's a little different. You let your head drop, the thoracic spine between your shoulder blades go around, that's okay. And find your breath here. Deep low belly breath. And as you exhale your breath, you might find a little more space, especially between your left thigh bone and your left hip bone. Return the pelvis a little more. And then welcome back to a flat back in this position. And moving hips to your hips. Step your back forward. See it again, so you don't see. So we notice the heels pressing a little to the sides of your feet, pressing, arches lifting. That gives you a little more intelligence in your legs. And then take the thighs back and then you just sit out your kind of happy neutral place. It feels like you're on the toes, take the thighs back. And lift the low belly up. Keep your blocks now along the long edge of your mat, whatever position you can see in best. Take your feet wide. Take your heels a little more out of your toes. Take your hands to the front of your pelvis and then thumbs back. Invite your thighs back first, and then come partway forward and roll the pelvis over the thighs. Re-extend the spine. Take your heels lightly onto your blocks, this under your shoulders, and then re-extend the spine with one long in-breath. As you exhale, feel into your right heel, left heel, find a balance. Standing on your feet. And then again, let your body inform you. Pelvis rolling over the thighs dictates how far forward you go in this wide angle forward bend. You might find that you can take your hands comfortably down to the floor with the pelvis tipping forward, so that's fine to do so. But if it's coming from the pelvis going back and your lumbar spine, know that you don't do so. Inhale, take a breath, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, let your head drop. And just observing the body, the breath, and the position of your head to your heart and this forward bend. The head lower than the heart. That's definitely a sign of humility. Knowing your practice, you're just letting your body guide you in this. So you can press the little toe side of the foot a little bit more. But you can spin the upper inner thighs back a little bit more. And just with the right amount of effort, not over gripping or pushing, just allowing your body to open. Deep breath into your low belly. And as you exhale, feel the heels connect. Then bring your hands back into the blocks, come back into a flat back. And then bring your hands to your hips. Step your feet back together. Move your legs a little shake. And take your blocks and that part of the way so that you go back to the out your bottom. And stand on with your feet. So this might be better on the field for this one. Take your feet just straight ahead. So stretch the toes, find your center here. And then bring all of your weight onto your left foot. Take your right toe from neutral. Find your balance to hand your outer hip muscles in. And then flex the foot and take that into your chest. Now see, can you lift in a way that the pelvis is staying in neutral position, so you're not rounding the low back. Inhale, lift the spine and the toe. With the exhale, lower back down. And back into Tadasana. You should your weight onto your right foot, bring the left toe in front at first. So balance is a challenge, it might just be right here. Of the outer hips in. Take your chest. Notice your pelvis, your low back. You keep it neutral, so that means your lumbar spine is lifting up a little bit. Not running back. And then, just another time, you set some on your ground, and the focal point straight ahead, eye level. You can take your time, you should come. Keep the foot flexed. And the whole spine will be, you'll just notice as you go back and landing behind you, is if you can draw the lower belly up a little more. And you can let them. Using the thighs, fold one more time, look forward, belly stand to fold the elbows. Let your torso drape. Integrate everything we've learned. Outer edges of the feet, arches lifting, upper inner thighs back and wide. Pelvis flowing over your thigh bones. You bend your knees as much or as little as it feels good to you. When you hands to your hips, take the knees back. And you come all the way up. Clasp your fingers one more time. Find your center here. And exhale. Good. Have a seat on your mat and take a strap. And we're going to take this strap and we're going to fold it. So loop it. If you have the kind of label, you take the label to the ceiling. And you go through the middle. And you come back down to the top. So we pull it. It feels slow. Then we come back to the biggest one. So now take it about, you're going to adjust it when you get into the post. Take it about shoulder distance. Nice. Here. Yeah, yeah. And then come onto your back with your knees bent. You rock your tailbone towards the floor for a moment. Feel your lumbar spine press, and then rock it. Sorry, tailbone towards the ceiling. You feel your lumbar spine press, and tailbone towards the floor. You feel your lumbar spine lift. Be aware of where my sacrum, the bony part of the lower back is, and just land in what I call a neutral position with your sacrum flat on the floor. Keeping that, your left knee bent, take your right knee to your chest and put strap on the ball of your right foot and move the buckle over to the side so that you can actually move it to the side and you can pull the tail towards you to get the distance of the strap in such a way that you can cup your hand over the back without bending your elbow. So no bent elbows or bent knees. So give yourself as much length in the strap as you need. And again, if you cinched it in a way that it doesn't give, you should be able to cup the hand through the other strap away from the buckle. Okay. So starting here with your left hand to the left, your right hand on the strap just cupped. Yep. Other hand the same leg, same hand. Yep. And give yourself enough length so your elbow and your knee are straight. So press the ball of your foot into that strap like you're trying to break it, and notice your right thigh bone compared to your right hip and your hip to the rib. So take the thigh bone away from the chest a lot. Still feeling the back of the sacrum on both sides connected. It's the subtle movements, the rotation of the thigh bone away from your chest. You can take your left hand on the base of that thigh bone towards your hip crease. And just press it away. It feels so nice. And be aware of your sacrum on the floor. So keep it like that. Take your left toes to the ceiling now. And stretch the heel away into that leg is straight and the thigh bone pressing into the floor. And then take your left hand on top of that left thigh bone and ground it further. And then return your left hand to the left. So notice here, again, the strap on the ball of the foot is really the ideal because you can press this ball of the foot into the strap a little bit higher than your heel, like you're pressing on a gas pedal. And then you get a little bit more total leg education to shift that right sitting bone towards your left foot. Both sides of the sacrum evenly pressing the floor. Just find your breath here. Good, keeping that left hand grounded, left leg grounded. Imagine your right hand is also straight out from your shoulder, you know, it's over your strap. You're going to move that right leg up and over in that direction where the right hand would be. Be mindful of the left sacrum and stay on the floor. So only going so far that you can stay grounded there. And then again, take the top of the right thigh bone away from your ribs towards your left foot. And find your breath here. Good, and you'll come back up to the center and switch hands with your strap. Take the right hand to the right, pluck the left hand. And then this one's just a little bit across the midline. So take that foot just a little bit across the midline. Let your right sacrum lift here. Keeping the leg straight. And then it doesn't have to touch the floor, but move the sacrum in the direction of the floor. So the back of your right sacrum is moving towards the floor. The ball mount of your right foot is pressing into the strap. And then you're still rotating that right thigh away from your ribcage. Find your breath. If your knee tends to snap back, a little micro bend. Very good. Inhale, come on out. Take the strap off the foot. Take your right knee into your chest. And pause here with the breath. And then bring your right foot flat on the floor and bend your left knee up. And take the strap on the ball of your left foot. So again, the ball over the arch, this buckle out of the way. My left side is definitely tighter than my right, so I'm giving myself a little more room on my strap. And then cupping the hand in such a way that your arm and your leg are both straight. So find the ball of your foot rather than the arch. Press the ball a little higher than your heel. Stretch your toes. And then again, take the top of your left thigh bone away from your ribs. Notice the back of the sacrum on both sides connected. Lift your right toes and slide the right heel away from the chest. You take your right hand first to the top of the left thigh bone and just invite it away. Not overly efforting, just enough. And then take your right hand on top of the right thigh and ground it down. And let your right hand rest to the right. Find your breath here, deep low belly, especially left side of your low belly. And as you exhale the breath, maybe a little more space, maybe more opening. Notice the right and left side of your sacrum on the floor. And then imagine that left hand extended straight out like the right hand does, and take that left foot in that direction, up and over to the left. And pausing before the right sacrum lifts, and then taking that left thigh away from your ribs towards the right foot. Following your breath here. Inhale, come back up to center. Take your right hand on the strap. Now take your left hand left. And get it just a little bit across the midline. So yes, let the left sacrum lift a little. Press the ball of your foot into the strap. And then it doesn't have to go all the way to the floor, but invite the left sacrum to back towards the floor at the same time that you're pressing the ball of your foot into the strap and really rolling the top of the thigh away from your ribs. Like a nice opening back of the thigh, the space in between your thigh bone and your hip joint, or even the outer thigh. Like inhale, come on up. Release the strap, exhale, take the knee to your chest. And bring that foot flat on the floor. Take your right foot flat on the floor. Roll your knees to the side and come on up to seat. This last strap position. So you're going to open this loop nearly wide. And then in here, they have like these 10-foot straps. Make it really long. If you're at home, you don't have one quite this long, you can use a shorter strap and hold with the hands. This is just kind of nice because you'll see your arms are in a resting position. So you're going to take the strap behind your back, and you're going to pin it around so that the tail is pointing downward, so that when you're on your back and you pull it, you can straight tighten it. You want to have that buckle not on your feet, it's over to the side, but the tail is pointing downward. So you're going to take the strap. Let me just show you where to probably do it so you can see. I'm going to start with the strap way up under my armpits, like high on my back. I'm going to lay down with it there, and then I'm going to take the body of my feet onto the strap. And if the tail is pointed down, I can pull and tighten it just enough so that my feet, my arms can, my arms can let go and my feet can really be active, pressing into the strap. So get up and hop a couple. So again, it's way up high. Get your shoulder blades and your arms come on the outside of your straps. And you just rest the arms out with your elbows bent. And palms up like a goalpost position with your arms. And take your feet a little bit apart, the distance is good. And press the ball of your foot into the strap. So see if you can look at your line here. So that your shoulders come high, back, and stay. So see if you can let your arms rest in that goalpost shape. That helps the shoulder blades come up towards your chest a little bit. Also helps stabilize. And then reach the top of your thigh bones away from your chest here. Again, at home, you can hold 2 hands on the strap if you don't have a longer one. Then you don't need to do that because you don't have long straps. So if it feels like it's too tight, you can certainly loosen it. You can move your legs further away from your chest. So they can be way back. You don't have to be straight up from the hips. They can be further back from the hips. But do press the big toe ball of the foot into the strap, the little toe ball of the foot. And see if you can notice your ankles in what I call neutral position, so they're not rolling in or rolling out. Knees and toes go the same way. And the top of the upper inner thighs, imagine a block is in there and you're just reaching up. And take a couple breaths into that. You'll start to bend your knees, keep your hands on the strap inside your feet a whole lot wider. And then just hands can be on the strap or on to the sides of the feet. Drop your knees to the sides of your ribs here. Happy baby pose. So if you can reach the ankles, but keep your feet in that standing on the ceiling position. So your ankles over your knees 90 degrees-ish, and your feet flat like they're sitting on the ceiling. As you exhale your breath, just invite the top of your thigh bones a little more towards the floor. Take a couple of deep, low belly breaths in. Then as you exhale your breath, just slide the strap over your feet, and release to your chest. And then your feet sliding the floor. Take your strap out of the way now. You take any props that you like for your off now. Might be a roll under your head or roll under your knees, an eye pillow for your eyes, certainly. Glasses off, so your eyes can rest. And start with your knees bent. Take your hands in the front of your hip bones again, just the palm of your hand. Lift your hips a little, take the tailbone towards your feet, and then as you press down with your hands again, once again, feel the right and left sacrum evenly pressing. And then from there, release your hands by your sides, palms up. Release your legs one at a time with your heels apart, your toes off to the side. You drop your chin slightly and let your eyes close. If you have an eye pillow, it's nice, block out the light. And let your inner gaze drop towards your heart. Notice your breath. Experiencing each inhalation as an invitation into the heart center. And each exhalation is a surrendering of the body, the back of the body, surrendering to the floor beneath you. And surrendering of the mind as you just let thoughts float by as if they were clouds rolling by in the sky. On your awareness to land in that space of your open heart. Your open mind. And simply become the observer in this space. Just noticing without judgment. Whatever arises in you. Begin to transition back slowly. Just noticing your body in your space. No touch of air in your skin. You bring one hand to rest in your belly, and one hand to rest in your heart. And you take a moment to feel the fullness of breath in your body. And then your body responding to your breath. And then one knee up, and then the other. And roll to your side with your eyes closed, resting for a few breaths. And press down with your hands. Let your head become a glass. Take your time, bring it up to a seat. And sitting in a way that feels balanced to you. Spine tall, shoulders up. Moving your knees up by the side. And pausing to consider intention will help you remember with humility, with an open heart, and an open mind. And I just feel that you can bring into your daily life each moment. And you bring this, with that intention, your heart and honest religion. Bowing with a sense of gratitude that it means. Wisdom. Wisdom. Thank you guys. For being here. You can have a good week in person and if you're online. Thank you. Which ones? You never think of the promise and sin.